Hey everyone, and welcome to Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension. I'm your host, Rebecca Benton. North Carolina Cooperative Extension is comprised of two land-grant universities, NC State University and NC A&T State University. We are located in all 100 counties, and we are here to help you, our audience, and our clients that come to North Carolina Cooperative Extension. Now today, I have with me special guest, Bruce McLean. Bruce, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for having me today.
Now tell our audience, because you are a returning guest here, tell our audience just a little bit about what you do for Columbus County.
Okay, I'm a horticulture agent here for Columbus County. I've been here since September 1, and basically I work with homeowners, with commercial growers, with landscapers, with a lot of different things regarding as far as anything outdoor space, as far as like the landscape or your garden. Commercial fruit production, so I cover a lot of different things.
Yes, you've had a lot of many roles in your vast majority of history of your work experience.
Yes, yes.
Now today, we're going to talk about winter weeds, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm going to let you get started, and I'm going to ask questions as we're exploring these.
Okay, so I got out this morning, so everything is pretty fresh. And basically just went around one of my fruit orchards there on the farm and just tried to pull a good variety of weeds that a lot of people are gonna see. The one I really wanted to point out was this one. This is, let's see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Florida Bethany, and this one is one that honestly most everyone should be at least aware of or have seen, because I hate to say the word epidemic, but it is extremely widespread around Columbus County. So the way that you can kind of tell what it is that it does have this opposite leaf arrangement, and also the one thing that is a little odd on it, it does have kind of a square stem, and so if you crush it, it's in the mint family. So if you crush it and you smell it, it actually smells almost like potatoes.
Yeah, it does smell like potatoes.
But it's a really problematic weed for us because it's a perennial weed, and it's technically it's invasive. It's not native to here. It was brought in. I think back in like the 30s and 40s, and it's from Florida, or that's where it's typically found. But it is perennial. The problem with it in controlling it is that it is very aggressive, and since it is a perennial weed, it is a lot of perennial weeds. You end up having, like root pieces in the ground that you actually, you could sit there and pull it up, but you end up leaving root pieces in the ground, which, really you get rid of part of the problem, but they just sprout right back.
Because of the being perennials.
Exactly. And so, and the thing of it is too, is these actually come spring, when they put out these, little purplish colored flowers, they produce quite a bit of seed. And so, and a very highly viable type seed. So, not only does I think I read somewhere where it's a healthy plant can produce up to 2,000 seed per plant. So wow. I mean, and we're talking about these things. I mean, they can literally take over a yard, and that's typically what ends up happening is they come in maybe on some soil that you actually had brought into your property to maybe do some work like in a portion of the yard, or maybe you brought in some plant material. You transplanted a plant from like someone else's landscape or like an old landscape. Maybe you're moving into a new house, and that a lot of times that's the way it ends up getting moved around. So really it starts out pretty mundane, just a small little patch. Then all of a sudden 2-3 years later it's taking over the whole yard. And so, I mean, but it is really problematic. But another way that you can tell what it is if you dig them up in the ground, you'll actually see these small root-like structures. Or it's like a little tuber that's in the ground. Supposedly they're edible, but I don't know if I would eat them. But not that I'm recommending eating them either. But so it is, and a lot of times when you do pull the weed up, you leave this in the ground.
So it'll come right back.
And it comes right back. So, So that is, a really problematic weed for us around Columbus County.
So as a homeowner, or, trying to take care of my lawn, what am I going to do to get rid of it?
Okay. So it is a really tough weed to control because a lot of the pre-emergence, in the world of herbicides, you have pre-emergence and then you have post-emergent herbicides. Pre-emergent basically is a product that you can apply to your lawn or to your landscape. Now, what it does, it blocks the seed from actually germinating.
Okay.
There's not a lot of pre-emergent herbicides that are really effective. And so it's a little bit of efficacy on a couple of them, but it's more of a control it while it's green type of phase.
Okay.
And ideally you want it to keep it from flowering, because then that's when it really really starts spreading. So a lot of times you end up having to use a post-emergent, which is a product that you actually apply to a weed when it's actually green and it's actually above ground. So some of the best products that is out there is, and not, definitely not promoting any one product or any one company over another,
right.
but just talking about it, in general. A product called atrazine is our best product for it.
Now, is that something you can spray, and does it kill the grass as well? Does it need to be?
Well, it's you have to be a little careful with it. Okay. It's atrazine. You can apply it to centipede or St. Augustine most any time of the year, as long as you're not doing it right during what's called green up, and that's April time frame. But with Bermuda, you don't want to put atrazine on Bermuda in the summertime, because it can burn it really bad and kill it. But the thing of it is that atrazine, when you are treating it, because it is a winter weed, a winter perennial weed, is that you're just going to start seeing it really starting to grow now. It's going to be very vegetative right now and growing, so you really won't see any flowers. So ideally you want to treat it in the fall, time you really start seeing it grow. And the earlier that you can treat it, the easier it's going to be to control. When it does get really, really big, because this stuff, it can get knee high.
Tall?
Oh yeah,
Wow,
it can get pretty high.
That.
So when it does get really tall, it is much harder to control. So
absolutely.
So whenever treat it early, and with a product like atrazine. Now, if you do have like a Bermuda grass lawn, then it's not really a good option for you, because when you are that first initial treatment, your lawn still might be a little green. So then that's when you go to another type product, like something like 2,4-D, or like what we call a 3-way or 4-way type herbicide, which has 2,4-D and dicamba in it, and then some other ingredients as well. But if you've got like a Bermuda lawn, ideally you want to go with more like this in the fall. And then in the wintertime, when you come back in and do a retreatment, because it will start sprouting up, sort of late winter to try to start growing again, then you can come back in and use atrazine.
Okay.
Because on dormant Bermuda, atrazine doesn't cause any problems.
Okay.
But definitely just follow the labels.
Okay.
So, but if you have like a centipede lawn or St. Augustine lawn, then ideally, you can use the atrazine as a fall treatment, and then a retreatment that late winter, early spring. And it is something that you're going to have to really try to control over a long period of time. I mean, it may take 2 to 3 years to really get a handle on it.
Okay.
And so another thing that now, and like I said, I brought just a tremendous amount of weeds, but another one I really wanted to point out was this one right here, and everybody knows what this one is.
I can smell that one.
Oh yes. Some people call it wild onion, some people call it wild garlic. It does have kind of a sort of a round leaf to it, and when you crush it, it smells just like onions or like garlic. Everybody has these little tufts that kind of come up all over the place, and a lot of times they do have like a typical onion or garlic, they do have these bulbs, and it is a perennial cool season weed as well, but they have these bulbs in the ground just like just like an
Right,
onion
like
or
onion
like
would.
garlic.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's actually what it keeps coming back from is those roots. But the best product out there is something like atrazine, and because there are some other products that get to be rather expensive, but if you've got centipede, St. Augustine again, atrazine is your best product that you can use earlier in the fall. If you've got a Bermuda grass lawn, then it's best just to go ahead and wait to the winter, and the time the grass goes ahead and it goes dormant, it turns brown. Then you can apply the atrazine. It's a really good product for
Now,
it.
if you like me and you don't have a pristine lawn and you're not sure if it's a weed or a lawn growing, but you have some of these and you want to treat them, just go with the atrazine first.
Yes, yeah. Now, if it's one of those situations that maybe you're not exactly or you're not exactly sure what your grass may be, what your lawn grass may be, if it may be a mixture of things, then go with the atrazine, but maybe wait until the lawn goes dormant.
Right. Oh, I'm not sure that I actually have a lawn. It's probably mostly weeds. We just mow them down. It just looks green though.
Yeah. But there's a lot of other things that's really coming up right now. This is one that a lot of people fight, and I get calls about it all in the springtime, and it's just really starting to come out really really well. If you look at it, it almost looks like the top of a carrot.
Kind of.
Like a carrot top, and but it's not a carrot. It is somewhat related, but it is something that's called a lawn burrweed. And so we end up, I get a lot of calls in the spring. It's like, or in the summer, it's like when I go to walk across my lawn barefoot and I step on all these things, it feels like sand spurs, but it's not a sand spur. No, it's this. And what it does, it flowers down in the little leaf axils where the leaves actually come out. That's where it flowers, and then that's where the seed and that little spur comes out. And it is extremely prickly, extremely painful. Best time to treat it is because it's just starting to emerge now. It comes out in the fall and early winter, and the best time to treat it is actually now with something like atrazine.
Okay.
And 2,4-D or the three-way will work on it, but it may take 2 or 3 applications. The atrazine actually is post-emergent, but also it does have some pre-emergent qualities too. So if there are seed that are in the ground that may be just sitting there wait to germinate, the atrazine will actually block that germination.
So is it a pre and a post?
It is.
What was that word you called it?
Pre-emergent and post-emergent. Yes.
Okay.
But there are some, I've got plenty of other things. We've got, cudweed. This is something.
That's very familiar.
Yeah, very familiar. It looks almost like lettuce, but if you turn it over, it actually has kind of a white or silvery back on the leaf. Very, very common plant for us, very common weed.
Now, Bruce, we've got just a little more time. Not much, but I did want to ask you about programming plans or programs that you're looking forward to introducing to the community.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So we are wanting to try to revitalize and restart the Extension Master Gardener Volunteer Program here in Columbus County. So right now, I'm getting some calls in, some interest, and we're fixing to do a little bit of a campaign, to try to stir some interest to see if we can go ahead and generate enough interest, enough people to come in, that's interested in taking the training, that we can actually have it here in Columbus County.
That sounds amazing. Now, how would someone get up with you if they're interested in participating in this Master Garden program?
Okay, you can just call the office.
Okay.
910-640-6605.
And just ask for Bruce?
And just ask for Bruce.
And you'll be there. All right, Bruce. Okay, so let's go over products. 2,4-D, you said atrazine, and what was the other one? You said a 3-way?
Yeah, 3-way. It's sometimes called a 3-way or a 4-way that has 2,4-D and another chemical that's closely related to 2,4-D. It's
and
called
now
dicamba.
Is the time to be treating for these winter weeds in your lawn.
It is.
Okay.
I mean, there are some things out there that can pre-emergence will work on, but honestly, for a lot of your broadleaf type weeds, which is everything that we've got in here, these are really good products for cool season weeds.
Bruce, thank you so much for being on the show and educating the audience about this and myself, because I don't know that much about them either. So I do appreciate the education. Audience, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you on the next episode of Spotlight North Carolina Cooperative Extension.